Good.
What's that?
I can hear you perfectly. Look at that. My buddy's on the phone. We are live. What's happening, everybody? It is the Pete and Brian Experience. We've renamed ourselves.
Wait, what?
Surprise.
But we had all those T-shirts being shipped.
I know. Man, for those of you who are just joining us on LinkedIn or Facebook or listening live to the podcast, thank you so much. Pete and Brian are here on the video screens. We like to go live on video, but hopefully you'll still enjoy this if you're listening on the old Podbean. How's it going out there in Denver, Brian?
Everything's going all right out here. It's starting to be fall, Pete. We're getting into the fall. I feel like I've been saying that for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
What happens is we do this on Wednesday. It's a nice fall day, and then it climbs up into the 70s or 80s, and summer's hanging on. But we're definitely looking forward to some more fall weather. I got a pumpkin flag out front.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Well, if you are watching and you're watching on Facebook Live or LinkedIn Live, you can leave comments along the way. Tell us where you're watching from. Just leave a comment as you go. You can use the little thumbs up or the likes or whatever to kind of move on up. And if this is your first time joining us, me and Brian talk about more than just fall weather. We talk about lots of things, but buddy, let's talk about what we're not going to talk about. If you are like, hey, this is a show on leadership, we can't wait for Pete and Brian to break down the debates. Yeah. We cannot wait to hear their point of view on COVID. We cannot wait to hear them talk about the vice presidential debates tonight. Yeah. Maybe Hurricane Delta Burke. Maybe they're going to cover that today. How much of that are we covering, buddy?
None of it.
None of that.
Almost none of that.
So
you know what?
Our buddy Nikki Lamberti is out in the middle of the horrible fires out in California. Are we covering that today, Brian? No.
Well, we're not covering it on the show, but I have to say that it's all hazy outside right now. We're getting all the smoke from those fires still.
Yes. So we keep all those people in our thoughts and prayers. We are concerned about all of the leadership stuff we see happening, but that's not for us, Brian. That's not for us. It's not what we do.
There's plenty of other times that you can, discuss all of those things and catch up on those things. We're going to try to be, 55-minute respite for you on not covering President House COVID.
That stuff. So we will now play the music opening and get our show started. Here we go.
It's a leadership and laughs with Pete and Brian.
That's the bank vault.
And there we are, painting our sign. Yeah, it's a big time show, man. People who are tuning in are like, "What's this?" Like. They just thought it'd be us with a smartphone walking around. Brian, what episode number is this, my friend?
This is episode number 381, Pete.
Or, as we say in the English language, 25.
25.
Show 25. Give us a round of applause if you're out there. Come on. This is huge. Who knew we'd be around this long? I thought we'd be canceled by then.
Certainly my doctor.
Right. Hang on. You made a funny. With sound effects like that, who needs content, baby?
There you go.
Exactly. So my buddy Barry watching from Hoover, Alabama, just down the road from me. Thank you, my friend. We know Russ is out in Colorado near you. He's watching us. Thanks so much. Your smoking hot wife is out there. So glad to have her joining us. My buddy Todd in Cumming, Georgia. Please hold all jokes till the end. He's watching. So thanks, buddy. And I think the president of our booster club.
Yes.
If we had a booster club, Brian, it would be Joseph Barone sending us a typewritten round of applause. He's been with us since show number 1.
That's true.
I believe.
He's been on the show. He's been part of the show.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, Joseph.
Appreciate you, Joseph. Let's go ahead and get started. What we do here is we have Brian get us started with 3 fun stories, 3 stories that kind of motivate and inspire us, and he's actually got his own little theme music here. Ladies and gentlemen, from Denver, Colorado, with your happy stories of the week, leading off with Brian. Yeah, that was actually my voice. Yeah.
These were supposed to be happy stories?
Rumor has it. Rumor has it.
Rumor has it. That's what we like to do. That's how we like to get things started. And Pete, I'm going to start this one with a confession.
Bring it on.
I freaking love pumpkin spice. I love. Oh, there it is. The title, if you're not seeing us right now, the title says, "What's the deal with pumpkin spice?" I love pumpkin spice. Fall is my favorite time of the year, no question about that. And people feel strongly one way or the other about pumpkin spice, but it's basically just cinnamon, nutmeg, dried ginger, and clove or allspice and mixed together. And there's not actually any pumpkin in pumpkin spice. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
These are spices added to pumpkin. Well, psychologists tell us that there's a reason that we get that warm and cozy feeling whenever we tuck into a pumpkin muffin or a steamy pumpkin spice latte. That's not what's being shown here, mind you. First of all, this has become kind of a ritual, a human ritual for us, celebrating the change of seasons.
Okay.
Plus, they say we closely associate the smell with baked goods, and not just any baked goods, but home-baked goods.
Okay.
And that distinction really makes the difference, since those particular treats are tied to fond memories like family gatherings and, like I said before, the change of the seasons. And anyway, while not everyone loves pumpkin spice as much as I do, it is recognized as a comfort food. And guess what else is recognized as a comfort food? Mac and cheese.
I was about to say macaroni and cheese. I got to the M. Is it really?
Yeah, mac and cheese. So, Pete, would you try pumpkin spice macaroni and cheese?
I'm going to start out with my overall confession. I don't drink coffee. So I never got into the pumpkin spice flavored coffee at Starbucks and kind of all that kind of stuff. But I'll tell you, if there's pumpkin spice like caramel corn or pumpkin spice cookies or pumpkin spice banana bread, I will try it. I will absolutely try it and see if I like it. Would I try it in macaroni and cheese? You bet I would, buddy.
Well,
you bet I would.
Throw that first picture back up there so our viewers can see.
You got it.
Our friends over at Kraft, not a sponsor, have announced, Pete, a very limited release of this fall flavored treat or monstrosity, as the case may be. It'll come with a packet of pumpkin spice flavoring, and
oh my word,
to top it all off. That's pumpkin spice mac and cheese, ladies and gentlemen.
Let me show you how little I work on our pre-production. You sent me these pictures and I've uploaded them and I showed them earlier and all of that. I thought it was a cup of coffee. Like I thought that was some kind of frappuccino mix on the top, like all the whipped spices and all that. I kind of blew your story when I showed this earlier because I thought it was a cup of coffee. Now that I see it, this is mac and cheese, baby.
This is pumpkin spice mac and cheese.
Okay.
Believe it or not, there's already a waiting list for this. Only 1,000 lucky people are going to be able to get their hands on this. I won't be one of them because you also have to be in Canada, which I'm not. So, but if this intrigues you, if you want to try some pumpkin spice mac and cheese for yourself, you can always just do a Google search on that. I have it on good authority that there are lots of recipes that you can make in your own kitchen of pumpkin spice mac and cheese.
It's so funny how pumpkin spice has become a dividing line in just the seasons. There's I mean, people aren't out there fighting going artificial trees versus regular trees at Christmas. How dare they? And all, but once pumpkin spice comes out, you get people like my buddy Todd saying overrated. And I don't know why. Why are people so either for or against it, Brian? I would think you'd be more for it because we like the candles that smell in the fall. Like you said, it makes people feel. I don't know. Is it just to go against the grain and go against the hype? Is that what it is?
I'm embracing it. So some people don't like cinnamon, don't like the flavor, but for me, it's definitely a sign that my favorite season is upon us. I never want a pumpkin spice latte if I'm, sweating outside in the summertime.
Right. No,
definitely a fall type thing. But it's sort of like the whole debate about if you can put pineapple on a pizza.
yes, that's a dividing line for some people. I'm okay. I'll try it. If I like it, I will. If I want, I won't. See here, but here's the thing. Here's your leadership lesson, buddy, as we tie this into leadership. We all need more comfort right now. I mean, we all need something to make us feel warm and cozy or better about ourselves. And if that means a pumpkin spice latte or a pumpkin flavored candle or pumpkin mac and cheese, if that's what you need to give yourself that boost to get through all these first world problems, actually real problems that we're having these days. I probably shouldn't have done that in quotes. There's real problems happening. That's important.
First world.
Right.
All right. Well, let's talk about a happy story.
Okay, bring it on. Does it involve someone named Gloria?
Well, that is my mom's name, but no, this is a different Gloria.
So
let's talk a little bit about Gloria Scott. She's from Woburn, Massachusetts. She's 72 years old, and she called an electrician named John Kinney to come to her house because sparks were shooting out of one of her light fixtures.
That happens.
Yeah, and of course that's scary. But when he got there, he quickly noticed that she had several other problems as well. Now, Gloria, she's a 72-year-old woman living at home by herself. Her home didn't have proper plumbing. There were holes in the ceiling. Her kitchen sink was broken. Her kitchen sink was actually tied into the hot water line, would spew boiling water.
Not good. Yeah.
Giant mess. So Miss Gloria says she simply couldn't afford the repairs, in the current situation. So
of course,
a few days after the appointment, the guy came back. He invited a few of his friends and got to working on the house's other problems for free, which is
okay. Hold on a second. We put up a picture, if you're listening on the podcast, of an entire wall ripped down to the studs.
Right.
Is she outside going, I just had a few sparks in my life, and these guys have come in like Dwight Schrute with a mallet and are just knocking things down.
I love it. Dwight Schrute reference. They to complete the work, the first guy, John Kinney, he started a fundraiser, and it was sort of like, do you remember the old what was the old show with Ty Pennington on ABC? It was a Disney show,
Home Improvement,
Extreme Home Makeover.
The Home Improvement with, I believe, the Tim Allen starred in it.
Nope, that was different. I'm talking about Extreme Home Makeover.
The one with the carpenter who's building things and people get a home makeover, and then Tim Allen comes in and he's like got this whole this guy across the street with the neighbor. No,
this is like Extreme Home Makeover.
Okay.
So this group raised more than $100,000, and they got the whole community to show up in droves. Volunteers stopped by to donate meals and materials and supplies, really just to kind of get her home in working order. But the story doesn't end there. That work sparked a movement right there in Woburn, Mass. And they call themselves Gloria's Gladiators. And they have a Facebook page that has more than 6,000 members that are interested in helping elderly neighbors in their community. So
if you look at this picture that I just put up, I did notice the gentleman on the left has a t-shirt, and both of them are where they say Gloria's Gladiators on the actual shirt. 6,000 members in a Facebook group.
Yep. And that's just for that part of the country. So people are, it's hard times out there, and there's a lot of sad news, but it's these type of stories that come through and make us feel a little bit better about humanity sometimes.
Absolutely. Smiley faces all around. All right. Big finish. What do you got number 3, buddy?
Well, let's talk turkey.
All right.
Literally, according to the National Turkey Federation,
Okay.
And now you know that that's a thing. The National Turkey Federation. Approximately 40 million turkeys are eaten around Thanksgiving every year.
Got it.
And that's just the U.S. Thanksgiving, right? So Thanksgiving's not a worldwide holiday. That's, Canada has their own in October, I think, and ours is in November. But 40 million turkeys eaten each year, and the National Turkey Federation doesn't expect that figure to change much this year. But apparently, because of COVID and 2020, the sizes and types of turkey will. So, teensy turkeys this year. Thanks, COVID. Thanks, 2020. It really just comes from, fewer people around the Thanksgiving table, unfortunately, this year.
Wow.
That's going to mean that many households are looking to buy smaller turkeys. And, you can't just use your Harry Potter wand and shrink the size of turkeys. Nope. Grocery stores and distributors and farmers are rethinking their own longstanding Thanksgiving traditions. So
I may have missed where you said this. Why are they smaller? Why are the turkeys smaller?
Consumers are looking for smaller turkeys. A family of 4 who normally would have, people from the neighborhood, a couple of people from work, the grandchildren, the cousins, the aunts and uncles, and they would have had a 32-pound turkey.
Yes. Don't need it.
So a lot of the grocery chains are actually buying from farmers smaller birds. And Walmart, which is, by the way, did you know Walmart is the largest grocer in the United States?
It does not surprise me. Yes, does not surprise me in the least.
Yeah, Walmart's increasing the availability of things like, boneless turkey breasts, where you're not making a whole bird, you're just making a little bit of turkey meat. And farmers are actually harvesting the turkeys earlier because they just don't need the larger bird this year.
You don't got to grow this year. You're good as is. Come on, get up here. Wait. 2 quick stories. Number 1, if you're watching or listening live on Facebook or LinkedIn, please put in the comments, are you dressing or are you stuffing? There's a clear difference. What do you prefer, dressing or stuffing? Put it in comments. I'll give you the correct answer in just a moment. Number 2, we have a huge family here in Alabama. My wife's grandmother had 8 sisters. So this family tree of 8, 9 sisters all going straight down with all these families. We get together at times. There'd be 100, 200 people on Thanksgiving that we all get together. And this year, because a lot of people are getting older because of COVID, the word's already out there that we may not be doing that this year. So you're right.
So I'd also like to know, do you go for, cranberry sauce that's homemade, or do you go for cranberry sauce out of the can that makes that?
No, just not in the can. I used to as a kid, though. My daughter was raised right. And, of course, her mother, of course, says dressing, of course. My buddy Jonathan, who takes care of us in the fire service, says dressing. And Russ Rothenberg has a comment for you, Brian. We'll let you read that live.
So Russ wants to know if I'm wearing a South Carolina Gamecocks hat. And colors. I'm just wearing. I usually wear kind of a black, darker shirt on this show, and Pete got me by wearing the Gators. Certainly not because the Gators are my home team and beat up on the Gamecocks just recently. But just out, this is not a Gamecock. That is
some kind of octopus.
Game of Thrones.
Is that a squid? Is this the squid industry? What is that? I don't know what that is.
From Game of Thrones. I'm a big nerd over
Gotcha.
there.
Never seen one episode. All right. So let's talk real quick about the Mason-Dixon line. So far, all we've heard from the South, which is dressing. Thanks to my buddy Joseph up north, who's going stuffing. And, of course, my sister's roommate, who's from New Jersey, who says stuffing. So it is funny how it's very Very regional. So, hey, great stories, man. Great stories about Gloria's gladiators. I love that. Pumpkin spice, how it makes us happy, and small turkeys, teensy turkeys.
Now, you said you were going to tell us the difference between dressing and stuffing.
Dressing's better. That's just, I mean,
no, what's the difference?
Because there's a huge
blackjacks versus pancakes. They're the same thing.
No, we're talking about stuffing, and my mom used to make stuffing. And stuffing, you put it together, and it goes inside the bird. And sometimes it's just little black things. If you crunch on them the wrong way, they hurt your teeth, and it's fairly interesting tasting. Dressing is made in a big old sheet pan almost, and it comes out almost like a cake. And you put that next with some gravy on top of it. Oh,
that's stovetop stuffing right there.
Yeah, dude, stovetop stuffing is also, you can't go wrong with that. All right, let's get going. We got a lot to cover. We've only got, oh my word, 45 minutes left. Let's see what our next, where's all my buttons? Brian, where's all my buttons? Oh, here it comes. Stand by. There you go. It's time for the Leadership and Laughs Article of the Week, buddy. Article of the Week.
Let's
do it.
What do we got?
Let's do it. Let's see if I can pull up real quick as I share my screen number 2, tell you who our articles from today. This is my buddy Marlene Chism, who I've never met in my entire life, but I will be giving her a plug and using her article this week. Let's give her a shout out, marlenechism.com. As we're going to talk today, Brian, in our leadership article of the week about decision-making. Decision-making. What's the last decision you made, my friend?
To not put the screen up behind me so you can see my my messy storage room behind me.
Excellent. Excellent. Mine was to actually do this show. I was 10 minutes away from calling you and saying I'm out. So, yes, very, very, very good. All right. So let's take a moment here and get into some leadership discussions, buddy. We want to talk about decisions and decisions we make as leaders, managers, parents, individuals, leading a team, managing others. We make decisions every single day. So according to Marlene Chism, she says good leadership is about good decision making, which I think we all can agree on. But she says there's 3 hidden forces, my friend, 3 hidden forces that influence your decision-making. And we're going to share those with you today. So what I want you thinking about is these decisions you may make at work. So do you share feedback with somebody when you're not sure how they're going to take it? Do you step up and volunteer for a project? Do you make a decision? Does the supervisor say, hey, you can do it any way you want, and you have to decide? Or do they say, do the project this way, but you decide to do it a different way, take a risk? So there's all kinds of things we can do around making decisions each and every day. So she says the 3 hidden forces, one of them is your identity. Your identity. So let's talk about this. And again, as we're sharing this in the comments, if you've got stories or if this rings true for you, go ahead and play along. Brian, how do you want to identify as a leader? Well, how do you want people to know you as a leader? What's your identity?
So I wonder if this is, would you say this is the same as your personal brand?
Could be.
At work?
Could be. Yep. Yep.
I prefer to identify a little bit more with servant leadership.
Yep.
And my identity, I think, over the course of my career has basically been a creative jester.
Well done. Excellent use of the Pearson-Marr archetype indicator there. So your identity is, are you the creative jester? Maybe you want to be the supervisor who's nice. You want to be the one who's liked all the time. Well, your decision-making is going to affect that, because what she says is that a leader's identity is intricately intertwined with their decision-making. So, for example, if you want to be the person who's the nice person in the office and we're buddy-buddy with everybody, you're the one everybody likes, when you get promoted, you may not be making the tough decisions that you should be making because it'll mess up with your identity. You're like, well, I don't want to be the mean person. I don't want to be the one everybody dislikes. I don't want to be the one that, people, don't appreciate. So you're not making the tough decisions. And you may know people at Disney where we used to work or other places where they know what decision they should have made, but they went the opposite way because they wanted to protect their brand or still be the nice guy or not be the one that everybody doesn't like. And that can come back to bite you.
Or
that can come back to bite you a lot.
As well. You know, I was going to say the opposite of that too, as well, where, you know, there are leaders who relish not being the nice guy, but the tough guy.
Yes.
And we'll make decisions based on that as well.
Sure. They've never shown empathy in their entire life. And if they had to make a decision to allow somebody to go home because they're sick or to give more work-life balance,
I don't want to be
like, well,
pushover.
I'm not a pushover. I know this is, hey, the rule is the rule is the rule. And so again, their identity helps to drive their decision making. So be very careful with that, because it could, again, there's ways in her blogs and in Marlene's things you can learn more about that. The second one, buddy, she says, is what's your intention? What's your intention when you're making a decision? So she quotes an author named Gary Zukov, which is fun to say. He says this: if you don't know your intention before an interaction, you'll definitely know it afterwards. If you don't know what your intention is before an interaction, you'll definitely know about it afterwards. So the default to this is always progressive discipline. The default to this is always constructive coaching. And the reason why that's an easy example for this is, Brian, what's your intention? Is my intention to really help this person get better? Is my intention to really help them adjust their attitude? Or is my intention, when I make the decision to document and write them up, I'm trying to get a case against them? Yeah, bye-bye. See you next Thursday. You know, trying to get you out of there. So again, what do you want to accomplish in this decision making, and how do you want the other person to feel about it? What's your intention in this? And we talk about this all the time when we talk about progressive discipline where I work, because we do a whole training program on it. Your goal should not be to get the person fired. Your goal should be, your intention should be to change their behavior so that they keep the job, the workplace becomes better. That should always be your first outlook. But it's always going to come back to bite you, because there's certain people who who you would love to, what would you say, move them out of the organization.
Yep.
Yeah. We won't ask you if you know anybody like that. So that's number 2, my friend. Number 3. I think this is a song. Da, 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 emotion is taking me over. Da. What's that song? Sorrow, lost. It's the Bee Gees, in my soul. So if you don't come back, come home. It's emotion, right? No? You got nothing.
I got Mariah Carey. You got me feeling emotion.
You got me feeling emotion.
I wasn't going to sing it.
Well, I'm clearly not singing either. Now let's go Bee Gees emotion. You're going Mariah Carey emotion, but we're both there. Emotion. Decision making happens from your logical brain, Brian, the prefrontal cortex. Do you remember what we used to teach in Disney college program classes? Do you remember something that was called the blank hijack? We used to always talk about this part of the brain.
That's the amygdala hijack.
Oh, give yourself a bell. The amygdala hijack. Abso-stinking-lutely. So again, sometimes we get so angry that we're making these decisions, and we're making them based in anger. Our emotion is driving the decisions that we're making, and we got to be very careful with that. She says that, for example, anger is not telling you that you're right and the other person is wrong. Anger means an expectation has not been met or a boundary has been crossed. So again, when we have these emotions of disappointment or anger or sadness, when we're coaching and developing and making decisions at work, we don't want to make an emotion-based decision. Give me some of the bad things that can happen when you make decisions based strictly on your emotions, buddy.
I'm going to give you and our listeners a life pro tip from Brian Vagi, and chances are you already know this, but if you don't, listen to this one real good. When you're going to write an email, especially when you're full of emotion, if somebody called you out about something, said something you didn't like, if you're writing this to your team or to your leaders,
yep.
Whenever you fill out an email or you're writing and
right, putting it in there,
that you never put the person's name in the to field.
Never do it
until very, very end, because I can't tell you the number of emails I've composed, but then kind of calmed down and never fired off, or rewrote. So don't accidentally send something that you'll regret later.
Good rule of thumb, my friend. Excellent. We've all done that, so we are all feeling your pain. So there you go. Thank you, Marlene, for our article, leadership article of the week. And to learn more about her, as you see down there, you can go to her website at Marlene Chism. That's M-A-R. What? How'd you spell that, Brian? Any idea? M-A-R. Should I put it back up? I don't know. Where is it? That's not it.
Chism.
C-H. Yes. C-H-I-M-S. Yeah. Yeah. Get me out of this. Get me out of this, buddy. You know what time it is, buddy. Let's just forget all this stuff about articles and leadership and pumpkin spice and get into the world's famous, most popular leadership statistics game show led by my buddy Brian Vagi. It's over and under. Play your clapping sound effect. Who's got that? There it is. Such a low budget show. Good stuff.
Like Pete said, this is over and under. I'll be presenting Pete with a couple of interesting and pointed statistics, and we'll have to guess if the actual number is over or under the number I give him. We want you all to play along. Please chat in your answer, over, under, what you're thinking about all of these. We've done several over-under episodes about how, unique perks and job flexibility have added to employee satisfaction. But today we're going to be talking about how much people consider a company's mission and culture when they're applying for a job.
So they should. The answer is they should.
They should. This data is taken from a survey which was conducted just before the pandemic.
Okay.
I was looking for updated numbers on this stuff because it'll be interesting to see in the next 6 months or a year if it's changed at all. But just in general, this was a wide survey conducted by Glassdoor.com, not a sponsor, and the Harris Poll, who you've heard of before.
I love Ed Harris. He's one of my favorite actors.
Yeah, he's great in Milk Money.
And I don't know why that tickled me. I thought you were going to go Apollo 13 on me. Milk Money.
Oh yeah, he was in Apollo 13.
Yeah, no. But...
they interviewed 5,000 employees, so it's a
holy moly,
good base in 4 different countries, and the countries were the United States, the United Kingdom, France, and Germany.
I'm more up to date on my Uzbekistan culture mission, so I'm going to be a little off on this. By the way, play along at home, like Brian said. Write your name in the comments. Well, don't do that. Write over or under in the comments. And if you get 3 out of 3, Brian, complimentary Leadership and Laughs mouse pad gets sent right. We've already got them in. We got the order in. These are the new Leadership and Laughs mouse pad. They get mailed right to you.
Mouse pad.
Well, we couldn't afford the actual logo to go on it, so it's just
a low budget show. All right, here we go. Over and under. Pete, what percentage said the following? I would only apply to a company if its values aligned with my own personal values. I'll only apply at a company whose values align with my own personal values. Is it over or under 69%?
Seriously?
This is dead air right here. that was the question. Everybody type in.
All right. So
69%.
Here's the deal. Here's the challenge to you, buddy. Show me the Disney values. What do you got them? Shout them out right now. Give me some Disney values. Openness, honesty, integrity, courage, integrity, diversity, balance. So again, we had the Disney values fairly memorized. And we always told people to try and find an organization that, your personal values match up. If you don't believe in integrity, if you don't believe in diversity, if you don't feel all this stuff, then you're not going to be a good fit for this organization. I would like to think that most people would say, I'm only going to apply to places that their values and corporate values align, but I'm going to take the under, and here's why. I don't think people take the time to do the research. I really don't. I think that they're like, I'll figure that out when I get hired. So while I think it should be higher, that's the way the world should work. I'm going to take the under, Brian. Let's see what's going on out here. First of all, big ups for Joseph for not mocking us tonight. That's a huge win. It's a huge win, Joseph. Thank you. Wade may be playing live from Walt Disney World right now. I thought he's on vacation down in Orlando, but Wade's going to take the over. And Wade, you may be my smoking hot wife agrees with you. Everyone will say that, but they won't mean it because they won't know what the company's values are. But the smart people like Joseph is going under. My buddy Jonathan's going under. Madison is under. Thanks for playing, sweetie. My buddy Scott Payne, also in the fire service, goes under. What do you got for us, buddy?
All right. So I would only apply to a company if its values align with my own personal values. It's over. So I'm giving the bell to everyone who said over.
Wow.
It's not over. The answer is 73%. Now that's internationally. In the United States, just taking the U.S. Respondents, it's 70%.
Wow.
So I think I'm going to agree with your smoking hot wife, Sherry, who says
who says what? Yeah, put it back up. Everybody's going to say over. Yeah.
You're going to say that. Are they really researching the company's
values? Yeah, you should. And by the way, everybody should, especially right now as people are moving positions and finding new things. Don't take the first, depends on your financial situation, but I mean, just be real careful that everything aligns. Hey, big ups to our buddy Wade. He is on vacation. He's down in Fort Wilderness. And instead of out enjoying the beautiful electrical water pageant, he is enjoying leadership and laughs with Pete and Brian, primarily because the electrical water pageants is probably
canceled. Sure, Wade, you take I've got to take the boat over to Discovery Island.
Oh, you're going to love Discovery Island. Go enjoy there. In fact, go at night and it's a beautiful, beautiful Disney property. All right, go ahead. Number 2.
All right. Pete, what percentage of the respondents said my company's mission is one of the main reasons I stay in my job? So these are employees who currently have a job, and they said one of the main reasons I stay in a job is due to my company's stated mission.
Okay.
Over or under 55%.
Here's what I'm gonna think. So once they're hired, they're looking at the vision, mission, and values of their organization. And then you said that they're staying because of the mission?
They agreed with the statement. My company's mission is one of the main reasons I stay in my job.
Yeah. Maybe I've been in government a little too long, but I'm going to go lower. I'm going to say that it's salary, it's culture, it's friendships, it's benefits, it's work-life balance. Now that I'm in, if I got all those things, I'm not sure that the mission actually, yes, we're out to protect and serve. Yes, we're out to provide a magical experience. But that's not keeping me here. I love it. I'm there, but it's not keeping. So I am going to go with the under. Let's check the other negative Nellies in the world. We got under Madison, under Joseph, under Scott, Jonathan. Brian, you may have stumped the panel today if you got this number around 55. Are we over or under 55%, buddy?
Guys, it's over.
No way.
Almost 2/3 of respondents said that the company's mission is one of the main reasons they stay in their job.
Shut up!
Okay. I have buttons on my phone. Wow. Did that one surprise you? Like, was my logic flawed, or why were all of us wrong on that, buddy?
I don't know. In fact, I went and dug into this one a little bit more to see if the numbers in the United States were a little bit lower. But They're not. They're exactly the same. 64% United States, 64% in the 4 international countries. So
Wow.
Company's mission is one of the main reasons I stay in my job.
And something funny about this too is vision and mission. I remember because we live in the world of HR, so we are driven by this type of stuff. And again, Disney always taught us, and you get a million different definitions, but vision is what you want to be, and the mission is how do you get there. And the vision really shouldn't be accomplished because the mission. But some people say no, the mission is that, the vision is it, and so it's all gets skewed. And unless you're in HR, you really don't care, which is why I thought the number would be lower. So something for all of us to remember: if that many people are excited about the mission, let's make sure our mission statements are good, for lack of a better word.
All right, one more.
Let's do it, buddy.
All right, Pete, what percentage said company culture is more important than salary when it comes to being satisfied at work?
0.
Job satisfaction. What percentage said company culture is more important than salary when it comes to being satisfied at work? Now, keep in mind, this is company culture, not your company's mission. I tend to personally, I tend to think that, I would work at a company if they backed up a, dump truck full of money and, they slaughtered baby seals, I probably wouldn't do it. But, if it didn't perfectly align with my own values, I might be able to get there. But
do you know that there's an urban legend that McDonald's fish fillet sandwiches, not a sponsor, are actually baby seals, that it's baby seal meat? Did you know that?
Yeah, I did not know that, but I'm going to go ahead and tell McDonald's lawyers right now. That's
no, we don't believe that. I'm just saying I heard that growing up. That must have been maybe the way people hazed me or something. But we just did, my buddy Greg Bone, shout out to him, just did a training class today on how to develop your team culture and what corporate culture is. And he defined corporate culture as the way we do things around here. And it can be everything from work-life balance to we're an open and transparent organization to an open environment versus a cube environment. The whole thing ties into culture. Okay.
That's what we're talking about here. So what percentage of employees said company culture, what Pete just explained, is more important than how much money I make when it comes to being satisfied at work? Is it over or under 55%?
I'm gonna say it's over. I buy into culture. I love culture. I think again that I would take less money for a good culture than, like you said, to be at a place that does the things with the little seals that we talked about. So I'm going to say it's got to be over 55. Got to be over. And your smoking hot wife agrees with me. So she's beautiful and smart. Congratulations.
Speaking of beautiful and smart.
Oh, my daughter. Taking the over. Yeah, what else? Starting to feel like Joe Biden here. This is getting really uncomfortable. Oh, I said it. Never mind. Let's just keep going. All right. Over. Scott says over. Joseph says over. You have done nothing to get anybody to buy under. So
we'll all land on a good one. It is over, but only by 1%. It's 56.
Oh,
so
okay.
More people than not really do feel like company culture is even more important than salary when it comes to job satisfaction.
And I think a lot of us learn that as we get older. As we're young and we're chasing the dollars, and I'll take 5% here and I'll take 6% here. And then you work somewhere that's just miserable. You realize, when you work places long enough, you realize how important that culture is. Hey, nice job tonight, man. Thanks. Really, really good. I appreciate that. Let's finish out with a bang. Brian, what could this be, buddy?
That looks like Moby. Moby is giving a talk. Oh, there's pictures of us up there.
It's the Daily Disney, my friend. It is the Daily Disney. It is the the one segment where we talk about our jobs at Disney, the Disney company, what's happening with Disney to try and motivate and inspire people. And again, we can call it the Daily Southwest Airlines segment, the Daily Ritz-Carlton segment, but we never worked there.
No.
So we can't do that. We could call it the Daily Blockbuster, as I give my old company a shout out back when I used to work for Blockbuster Video.
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A. See, that is excellent customer service you have right there, my friend. All right, so we're going to begin kind of on a sad note. As we all know, lots of bad things happening in the Disney company over the past week. As I sort of pull up a couple of screenshots I want to share with you here as we kind of scroll through my screen. The Walt Disney Company laid off about how many people over the past 2 weeks, Brian?
Thousands.
Yeah. It's over 28,000. Let me go ahead and share my screen here. Those of you who are listening to the podcast, basically, the Disney company was just hemorrhaging money, millions and millions of dollars, and was furloughing people left and right. And so they had to go ahead and finally let some people go, about 28,000. Want to give a shout out to the current chairman of Disney Parks, Josh D'Amaro, who was seen recently walking through the theme parks. He was out at Disneyland walking through downtown Disney because their theme parks are closed, just their downtown Disney is open. And he actually was walking around Walt Disney World just a few days ago, talking with the cast members who were still there, empathizing with them, interacting with them, and just, saying, I'm sorry, this is the worst time. There's nothing we can do about it, but I'm here for you, all this kind of stuff. So really good leadership there when it comes to what Josh is doing. Because, Brian, I can't imagine being in charge right now. We talk so highly of this company. We talk about how after 9/11, you were there post 9/11, they did everything they could not to lay people off. They did, early severance and early retirement and all this stuff. And, back in 2008, 2009, some of our friends got let go. I mean, you remember Len Milbauer, he was let go in that recession, and other of our friends. But this one, I mean, how many people have you known from our circle at Disney who have posted recently that they're no longer working there?
So many, especially because, so many.
Yeah, I know. Well, part of it is because I think our circle, Brian, was in the human resources, learning development. And of course, right now they need operations people and the people who teach the classes at the university and the Disney Institute, or maybe some other places. Just, there's just a lot of stuff going on right now, which is bad. So, but I wanted to share the good news, buddy. So let me go ahead. Let me go ahead and pull this up. I was going to do it. I'm going to do it on a share my screen kind of thing and see if I can make it big so that everybody can sort of listen along and kind of read along with me. So bear with me here as I pull this up. All right. Tell me, buddy, if you can see that. Okay.
I saw you stifle a burp.
Sorry. Well, you saw that too. So this is a gentleman who worked for the Walt Disney World Resort as a technical writer.
Yeah.
And let me read this. If you're listening to the podcast or watching, let me read this word for word, because this sums up exactly what I want the world to know about Disney. It says, if you see a cast member's resume cross your desk, hire them immediately. If you see that they started by completing the Disney College program where we used to work, you have a person who knew that starting on the front lines was important. If you see someone who spent years in guest-facing roles, you have a person who values the satisfaction of a job well done, as well as a steady paycheck. If you see someone who's earned a promotion, know that even the first promoted roles like coordinator and production assistant, the ones that came with like a 2% or a 3% bump, they were still coveted positions with competitive multi-stage interview process. Every chance to advance here comes with competition, so they earn that spot. Know that success at Disney requires aggressive networking and dedication, and every cast member holds themselves to a high standard. They know what it means to work while others play on New Year's Eve, on Christmas, and on their birthday. You don't have the resume of a theme park worker in front of you. You have the resume of a cast member. Well, and I've seen more and more people posting things like this and saying, if someone has Disney on their resume, hire them.
Yeah.
Are you buying into what he's selling there?
Absolutely. It's really well written, and I'm not surprised that this gentleman's a technical writer. It's well worked. and it's got the punch at the end, which is true. We used to tell our college program cast members, they would say, well, we're just, we're going back, and all we did was, make pizzas, or all I did all day was, sweep up cigarette butts.
Right.
And, we actually had a course called Marketing You that would help them understand, no, this, you did so much more than that.
Right.
Customer service alone.
Right.
A Disney cast member is going to be head and shoulders above, a lot of other applicants. But whoever wrote that,
Jordan Gotchman, I believe he pronounces it Gauckman because it's French. Gauckman. But yeah. But Terry agrees. She says very well written, great post. And again, the behind the scenes cast members may get hit the hardest. Wade, who's down there right now, says 8,800 more. I think they were doing some more things with the STCU, with the Services Trade Commission Union. So again, they're trying to work with that, the entertainment people. Here's my point, everybody. If you work in an industry right now, Brian, that has openings, if you work in, let's just say, construction engineering, well, why would a Disney cast member be good at that? Well, again, Disney's very big on hire for attitude, train for skill. You can get a great person, a great cast member, a great employee, and teach them maybe some of the nuts and bolts they need to know. That's a lot better than getting a technical proficient person who's just not as kind of an idiot. And not everybody buys into that theory. Some people like the technical aspect, but there is value in the Disney name on your resume.
There is, and the transferable skills that cast members are, second to none.
Yeah, we need to go with transferable skills. Real nice.
And it's like you said, hire for attitude, train for
skill. Skills. Yeah. Brian and I have a hard time talking about this because, again, these are all of our friends. I mean, there were people, our friend Diane has been there 30 years, and all of a sudden, we don't need you anymore. And not because you're not a great cast member and not because you don't add value to the organization, just the role you're in at this time. We have no audience for that role. And so we need, it's hurting a lot of people. It's hurting people in Central Florida. And again, I don't mean to signal out. It's happening across. I mean, airlines are maybe about to furlough pilots and furlough flight attendants. I mean, there's all kinds of things happening across this country that's bad right now. But what we're trying to say from a leadership perspective is you probably can't go wrong if you're looking for open people. There's actually a hashtag out there, hashtag Hire Disney. So if you follow that on Facebook and Twitter, you'll probably see a lot of good candidates out there that are looking right now.
Yeah, our hopes and prayers are out there with, everybody who's suddenly found themselves unemployed this year. It's been really tough, and I'm hoping that by next year it can come back, and a lot of these folks will be able to, Disney will have a hiring boom.
I hope so. My buddy Wade is down there right now, and he's at the pool enjoying himself. So maybe we'll have him be a guest next week and tell him what his experience was. So, or maybe not. So, Brian, I think I hear our theme music getting ready to roll us out of here. Do you have a Did You Know for us?
Sure. Well, earlier we talked about that Glassdoor mission culture survey. Did you know? Employees in the survey also said that if their company's corporate culture deteriorated, 71% would start looking for new opportunities elsewhere. So keep an eye on your company's corporate culture, the way we do things around here. Make sure that that's adding to your employee satisfaction numbers and not your turnover numbers.
What's going to be interesting, and that's a great one, because with this combination of we may have had a great company culture before, but with the pandemic, we either went half remote or sent everybody remote, and now we're going to start bringing people back. And so now things may be cut or shifted or work like so. That's a huge stat, because if the culture changes because of how the work is going, you said 71%?
71% said that they would go elsewhere.
Bail out. Keep an eye on your culture, my friend. Keep an eye on your culture. Hey, well, thanks everybody for watching and for listening. If you're listening on the stream, me and Brian appreciate you. Any words of wisdom, buddy?
Hey, everybody, go out there and put some love in the world this week, and be kind to one another. And we love you guys.
If I could give you a COVID safe hug, I would right now, man. Yeah. So, but I can't, so I won't. Have a great Wednesday, everybody. We'll see you next Wednesday, same time, same stream. We'll see you next time.
Everybody.